What have you accidentally conditioned your pet to do? Bring me dirty laundry. One day my cat brought me a sock, and it was so cute, so I petted him and praised him. That started a cycle of it, and now he's constantly bringing dirty laundry to me. When I was 10 my parents got a cat, PJ, who became very attached to me and my younger sister. When we went away for summer camp, PJ would run upstairs to our bedrooms and steal our socks, which she would then bring downstairs and leave at my parents' feet. She only did this while we were gone for extended periods of time, so, like, not during the school day or overnight visits with grandparents, only when we were gone for more than a few nights. Upon hearing the Windows 7 Sonata log-off sound, she jumps up and starts running around the room, since I always lock my computer before leaving. And when I'm leaving, that usually means she's going to daycare, i.e. my mom's house. It's been 3 or so years since I switched to Windows 10, but just playing the sound on YouTube still gets a reaction out of her. I'm quite certain you can configure Windows 10 with the same log-off sound if you'd like. Yes, that's possible. The Windows 7 boot up sound is already in Windows 10, just disabled. The budgie had a broken leg in a little splint. He would climb to the roof of his cage with just his beak and good leg, then let go of his beak and hang by one leg, then just stare at me. He knew I would stick my hand in, and he could just fall off into my hand. He only did this when I was around, because I was the only one who would stick my hand in. I can imagine him doing it with someone else, keeping eye contact, only for them to watch this bird hanging, and then dropping himself to the floor. My ex had a parakeet with the most personality I have ever met in a bird. The bird used to mimic the sound, that beep boop sound that an Android makes when you plug it in the charger, and knew that meant it was time for bed. So, whenever the bird was tired, it would make that noise, because that meant it was time to sleep. It mimicked it so perfectly that I found myself checking my phone whenever it was nap time for the birdie. I miss you, pistachio. Changing the sheets on the bed means playtime. My cat likes to sit on the bed as I throw on the sheets, like that Rainbow Parachute elementary game. She tries to attack my hand if I straighten the edges while she's there too. Every night without fail. It's a challenge because one goes under for the parachute, the other goes on top to attack the folds of the blanket. Do you change your sheets daily? My wife and I have pretty set sleep schedules during the week. If we stay up later on the weekend or w/e, our dog gets very huffy/offended and will sigh passive aggressively at us until we go upstairs to bed. Oh, and if one of his bowls is empty he licks it, also passive aggressively, and then makes direct eye contact. Oh god, yes, that passive aggressive sigh. Our dog used to sleep in front of the bedroom door, in the corridor between bedroom and toilet, and when you had to go at night, duck off followed on his path by exaggerated getting up. This deeply annoyed Cyan. I swear. An eye roll. Was it a boxer? Fear rubber gloves. We live in a place with lots of fleas and ticks, so we goo them every month. I figure the stuff goes through cat skin readily, so it'll probably go through mine. So I use surgical gloves. Whenever I pull out the box, the smarter of our two immediately bolts for the deepest recesses of the house. The dumber one just looks at me, even though he finds the process distasteful too. My tortoise stands on my foot when he is hungry. Edit, here link. com//myjidic is Frank standing on my foot. This was shortly after he got here, so excuse his weepy eyes. He had a respiratory infection when he arrived from being a stray/previous improper care. My dogs know the sound of the drawer the cheese is kept in the fridge. They could be asleep in a completely different area, but if you open the cheese drawer they come running and sit like good boys for their cheese. They are herding dogs and will also herd the cat away if she won't stop meowing at me when I'm busy, or if she tries to scratch anything. I had to check to see if you were my housemate. All 4 of the dogs we have are very different, but the one thing they all have in common is being summoned by the cheese drawer. 1. I accidentally made it so when you whistle this is the song that never ends, frequently stuck in my and my so's head. The cows come running for grain. If I don't have grain I get mood at until I go get some too. The chickens know that I get excited about eggs, and when they lay they get the good scratch and will sometimes wait until I'm in the barn. Squawk and lay an egg in front of me. And 3. If the cat is thirsty he will knock over every drink container / cup he finds while meowing, and then pitifully throw himself in front of me pretending to die. He started doing that after I faked my death for a Dr. Pepper that Miso was holding. Terrible animals edit. Thanks person for the gold. My first ever D. I disagree, they are terrible. At least the first 2, as they cows just want the promised food and the chickens even want you to be proud of them. The cat is a cat and thus a little brat that copies you. All love cats. My dog knew he would always get some ice to chew when I went to the fridge, so anytime he heard the ice machine on the fridge start he would come running in. Once he became deaf he would feel the vibrations in the floor from it and knew it was ice time. My dogs know the sound of ice too. We don't even use ice. It had been 100% from visitors. After my roommate got a cat, my dog answers to kitty 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 cause he wants love and or treats. My dog is like that too. She is willing to go by any names. You call mom's name, she comes running. You call dad's name, she still comes running. She is just such softy and cuddle needy that if she hears you yell for somebody, she is willing to be that somebody. We have one dog who is totally a jealous attention whore. She can be more reliably summoned using the other dog's name than hers. You're about to cheat on me, aren't you? My kitten will aggressively headbutt my face every night before bed. 4 top of head kisses before she goes to sleep. My old cat learned by watching Miso and I to give 4 head kisses and hold hands as a sign of affection. So now he will give you his forehead and give him a kiss, and then you have to let him kiss your forehead. And at night he will hold your hand and sleep next to you through the night. My cat also knows that 4 head kisses equals affection. When my husband pops into my home office to chat, he always kisses me on the forehead before he leaves. If our ginger cat is there, he'll look up at my husband and squeak pathetically until he gets a kiss, too. My niece loves to FaceTime my mom to talk to her dog. When the dog was a puppy, my mom used to pull her onto her lap when she would get FaceTimed. Now the dog is 80 pounds and will jump in your lap if your phone or tablet starts making the default FaceTime ring. I had a wiener dog in the days before the internet, late 80s / early 90s. The local news came on every night at 10 o'clock. Our dog heard the news jingle 5 times a week at 10 and knew to come wrangle us all into bed. She made sure every single one of us were tucked in. My parents had another wiener dog later on, and there was a time where my kids and I had to go stay with my folks. My kids and I had a morning routine of getting ready for schoolwork. The dog picked up on this really quickly and started to beat my morning alarm to get the kids up. I often woke up to her barking at the kids to wake up. When I entered their room I would see this tiny dog trying to drag the kids out of bed, and it always makes me think of how the first dog we had was anal about putting us to bed. Dachshunds are very motherly dogs, I've come to learn. It's 10 p.m., do you know where your humans are? Get wet food at 4 a.m. every day. I wake up early during the week and feed him wet food right away. Of course he doesn't care that it's the weekend. His internal alarm clock is down to minute with precision. And because he's a cat and an asshole, if we don't get up and get his food, he howls loudly through the house, opens shutters, walks on our faces, nudges our noses with his nose. He's so relentless it's not even funny, but we love him. You're his butler after all. He pays you. You must obey. My cat drinks out of a glass on my nightstand rather than a bowl. A couple of years ago, she was having some pretty serious dental issues, all fixed now, and was being reluctant to eat and drink. She had always wanted to drink out of the water cup I had for myself, and at that point I just wanted her to drink anything. So I let her. That was my mistake, and now she refuses to drink out of a bowl on the ground and will only drink out of cups. She has a permanent cup on my nightstand to this day. Oh well, at least it's easier for me to monitor her water intake. Editing this to reply to some repeat comments I'm seeing below. I was aware that cats like to drink away from their food. and at the time she had 2 different bowls that were not next to get food. I've tried every material, stainless steel, glass, ceramic, plastic, for bowls. She doesn't care. I wasn't aware that cats like being high up when they drink. That might help explain it. I see a lot of comments to get a cat fountain. At this point, since the glass on the nightstand doesn't bug me, I'm probably not going to buy one. Mainly because of how many different drinking options she's rejected in the past, haha. But if I ever want her to stop, that'll be my first try. Why are cats like this? Well, I did hear that cats in nature don't drink near their killers, that water could be contaminated by the corpse, so that might have something to do with it. One of my cats, Snart, demands that we give him his food and water in his own bowl and his own cup. Not just that, but we experimented with it and found that the little bastard pays attention. If it's something we don't eat out of, like a Tupperware container, he'll meow until he gets the same kind of bowl we do eat out of. If we give him a little bowl of water, he knows we don't drink water out of bowls but out of cups. We changed his bowl to the 4 other style of bowl we have, and each time he meowed louder and louder until we gave him the widest, flattest cup we owned. He drank out of it and spent his evening fighting off the other cats trying to drink from it. Oh, and he will do his best to lay down on human clothes. Bedding we bought specifically for cats? Nah. A nice puffy blanket fresh out the dryer specifically for him? Course not. Am I nuts? A t-shirt I left on the ground accidentally, a pair of old socks that are just long and wide enough for him to lay down on, a super wet and cold jacket because it was raining hard out. You bet your ass he'll be on it by the end of the minute it hits the floor. I think he knows we live better than cats normally do, and he wants in on the club. One time, my cat spotted a spider on my wall. Since he was staring so obviously, I was able to notice too. Grateful, I gave him treats and cuddles. He did it again a week later. Same thing. Then one time he looks around frantically and I jump up to go check, but I don't see a spider. He looks at me expectantly. After a few times like this, I realized he learned that looking around intensely at stuff means treats, love and attention. It's now been 4 years and he will still look at me, then pointedly look around the apartment, then back at me, expecting a reward. Has it resulted in him spotting the occasional bug? Yes. Especially since over the years I've learned the slight difference between his real expression and the fake I want treats one. Still, even if I know it's all a lie, it throws me off and sometimes I give in and look anyway. Maybe I'm imagining it, but he always looks so satisfied afterwards. The fluffy jerk. Edit. Cat in question. Link. imgur.com/xxflbxf. JPG. This weird fluff ball has also learned to topple the water container and to poke the trash to get my attention. If you try to spray him with water, when he misbehaves he will stand there pitifully and blink at the water, so you feel bad and stop. He will sleep on your head at night and you might find scratches on your cheek, or next to your eye. Or hell yell at the bedroom door if it's closed, and try to turn the doorknob and or stick his paws under. He screams like a goat. On the bright side he learned to sit for food, because food is the only true goal in his life. The worst is when they stare intently behind you, as if someone or something is there. We had a cat who suddenly started hissing toward empty space every once in a while. It was unsettling. The vet told us she was having hallucinations, and we had to take her to a cat psychiatrist. Opening the fridge and touching a plastic bag means they get a carrot. My mom gives my dogs carrots because they steal it from our rabbit. Close bracket. Haha, the tricky little thieves. Dogs are the kings and queens of stealing food. Good thing they're cute. Also, A+ for carrot consumption. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.